Hey guys, welcome back to the Oklahyzer Disc Golf channel. Today we've got another 3-disc review for you, and what we're looking at is the Plastic Addicts Habit, the Discraft Big Z Roach, and the Paige Pierce Big Z Fierce. We're going to give them a couple of throws as throwing putters and approach discs. We're going to see how they line up. Hope you guys enjoy.
Welcome to Oklahyzer.
This video is sponsored by Plastic Addicts Disc Golf Supplies. A huge thanks to them for sponsoring the video by providing us with the plastic to both review and give away. Stay tuned to the end of the video to find more about the giveaway information and Plastic Addicts. We're going to start this video off by taking a look at the discs themselves. First on the list, the Paige Pierce Fierce. With a speed of 3, glide 4, turn -2, and a fade of 0. Though, as you'll see in the video, the Big Z plastic is significantly more overstable than the numbers suggest. Next, we'll be taking a look at the Habit with a speed of 3, glide 5, turn -1, and a fade of 0. And finally the Roach at a 2 speed, glide 4, turn 0, and a fade of 1, the slowest of the bunch. Now let's head out to the course and see how they fly. We're going to start off with some drives to give you an idea of their stability when thrown on a more high power shot. You can see that Fierce flipped up quite nicely on that slight hyzer release, but it carried and finished straight forward. Next, looking at the Roach, thrown again with a slight hyzer, but that slower speed when thrown at that higher power really shows it as an understable disc, even though it is about the same stability as the Fierce at a slower speed. And finally, the Habit, you can see thrown with a slight hyzer to a more flat release, it really carries and finishes right quickly. Though with a little bit more control and more hyzer out of the hand, you can absolutely make this disc finish fairly far left. Next, I'm going to be throwing these discs on about a 190-foot hold that finishes slightly to the right. So you'll see me powering up on them a decent amount while releasing them as flat as possible. And you saw that Roach finish just slightly right of the pin. Next, throwing the Fierce on the same line. As you can see, it finishes just about as far right of the pin as the Roach did. Both these and the Big Z plastic are very similar to one another. And finally with this Habit, you can see it just goes straight up, finishes a lot more right, really showing off its understability and that extra glide that the Habit has. Now we're going to do some upshots. I'm going to have Andrew throw a couple of upshots from this lie just to show you how these discs perform with nice little chip forehands. You could see him nestle that Roach right up under the basket. Next, with the Habit, it's a little low, but you can see it still just fights to stay in the air. That extra glide really showing itself. And finally the Fierce, really trying to ring this one up, and now he has a circle 2 putt. Gonna do another quick hole preview of the next one. Again, about 180 feet, finishing a lot more right with a lot tighter gaps than the last time. Gonna start with the Roach here, putting it on flat to slight and hyzer release. You can see it just holds that turnover perfectly. Next, looking at the Habit, you can see this is exactly the whole shape and distance that this disc was made for. Just put it right up under the basket there. And lastly, the Fierce. Being the most overstable of the bunch, you could see I really had to juice up to get it down there, but it still got through the gap just fine. Now we're going back to Andrew on about a 200-foot straight shot, some nice little hyzer flips as he just about rings that one up. A dead straight hyzer flip tunnel like this is almost exactly what these discs are made for. And you could see just finishing a little right, but a lucky little kick to the left there. And finally the Fierce. Again, slight hyzer, flips up perfectly and nestles right up under the basket. Now we're going to send it over to Andrew to see what he thinks of the discs.
How do you feel about these discs as like a whole? You think you could fit, you think you could find a slot for all these discs in your bag, or you think there's too much overlap in some of them?
I feel like The Roaches and the Fierces are pretty similar. I think I'd pick one or the other, but this Habit is definitely like stands out between the two. This is definitely a little more understable, a little bigger rim. It's got comfort in a fan grip and a power grip, and so if you're looking for understable putter, I think that would be the better. And then something that's a little more stable than that, and get a fuller flight out of one or the other of these. I think there's a lot of overlap between the two.
And you think that like the Ultimate Frisbee background guys would really like those Habit?
I think Ultimate Frisbee guys would love this disc because it is bigger. It's kind of like, it feels kind of like that Ultra Star in their hand where they're comfortable with it. It feels really good on a flick line, feels really good on a backhand line, and they can kind of shape it with, you know, we say Hyzer, Anheuser, they say IO-AO, and those IO-AO lines, they'd really be able to kind of get those knocked out. But yeah, that'd be a good one for them. These I think they'd still enjoy, but it's one of those, it'd be a good starter, like, hey, I want to start pushing a little further, pushing a little straighter. That's what they would go with these. This has got that nice start transition.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, now let's talk giveaway information. If you want to get your hands on any of these discs, first off, make sure you visit plasticaddicts.net. They've got an amazing selection of every brand out there. But if you want to get one of these bad boys for free, you're going to have to like, sub, and comment down below which one of these three you think is best for you. I'm also going to be doing a second giveaway over on my Instagram. You can find a link to that in the description down below. So make sure you are following both myself and Plastic Addicts on Instagram. And like I've said before, if you ever find yourself in the Peoria area out in Illinois for Ledgestone perhaps, make sure you swing by their brick and mortar store. It's always an excellent time swinging in there and saying hi to all the guys there. So definitely make sure you make time to do that. And again, a huge thanks to them for sponsoring the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, have a good one.
Yep. What?
I got it.
That was so stupid. All right.